One of the most common questions I get is how do I properly calculate ROI, NPV, and IRR in Excel for case presentations? I've coached 302 Haskell teams to over 180 podium finishes. Today, we'll walk through real examples, including the differences when using dates with XNPV and XIRR, which most teams miss. This is part of the Case Finances and Excel Mastery Series, turning numbers into compelling insights. Let's make your financial calculations accurate and professional. Let's start with the ROI example. We have an initial investment, which we put in as a negative number, and yearly cash flows or returns, as you see here. So when we open the first button here, which is the typical IRR, NPV, and multiples, we can build our formulas. In the case of IRR, we're using XIRR, where XIRR is equal C7 to H7, which are our yearly cash flows, and C4 to H4, which are our dates. And you notice we put in specific dates, therefore we can use XIRR. NPV, we've used XNPV because we have dates. We make that equal to XNPV, C13, which is our discount rate, C7 to H7, which are our cash flows, and C4 to H4, which are our dates. XNPV is discount rate, followed by your cash flows, followed by your dates. We also have created a multiple here, which is I6 over here, our total of our yearly returns, divided by our negative I5, which is what we put in. This is our total cash flow divided by our investment. In this case, we've also created yearly ROIs and a total ROI. Here we've used a sum function as we go along to sum up the cash flow, adding back our investment and divide it by our investment. You notice it's negative because we've put in a negative investment. Our total IRR just goes to the end over here in column I, where we've got everything totaled up. And again, we've just got our cash flow plus our investment divided by our negative investment to give us our yearly and total ROIs. Do the same thing here. We've got a similar example where we are calculating our NPVs. So in this first example here, we're using just plain NPV. And in terms of our NPV here, it's equal to our NPV, which includes our discount rate of 15% up here in C2, takes our cash flows, which is D6 to H6. All of that is in the brackets and part of the NPV calculation. It actually calculates our present value. And then we add back the negative investment that we made initially. So this is our cash flows without an investment. And then we're adding back the negative cash flow to it. In terms of IRR, very similar. IRR, we're just taking what we've got. We need to include our negative investment and our cash flows in order to figure out the IRR. Similar thing happens with XNPV, but in this case, changes up a little bit where we use our discount rate. We use all of our cash flows, including our negative investment at the beginning, and we take our dates because we've got specific dates here. So again, this is our cash flows, including our investment, which is that negative cash flow at the beginning, and we've got straight dates. Same thing happens with RRR, with XIRR. We've got our cash flows. Again, we include our negative investment at the beginning and our dates. You'll notice when we look at the results here, they are slightly different because there are different numbers of days in each of the years that we've got in the example. One of the things I want to caution you against is this error where people forget to add back that negative investment that happens at the beginning. And this is not NPV. This becomes the present value of the cash flows. NPV only happens when you get rid of that initial investment that occurs. The best practices are always to include an initial negative investment for your cash flow, NPV and XIRR when dates matter for better accuracy. Keep your model clean and well labeled so the judges and you can follow the logic and present the results clearly on your slide. Highlight key assumptions and the final metrics that you calculate. These calculations help you show credible financial impact and strengthen your recommendation. There you have it, how to correctly calculate ROI, NPV, and IRR in Excel for case presentations. This is part of the Case Finances and Excel Mastery Series, turning numbers into compelling insights. Drop a comment. What's the most common mistake you've seen or made with NPV or IRR in Excel? Subscribe and hit the bell for the rest of the series. Cam Welsh out. Go calculate accurately and present with confidence.